The first meeting between the three species happened aboard the USS Blackstar. Captain Lisa Morgan watched as the transport ships docked with her vessel. She had never seen aliens before and was not sure what to expect. Commander Aria Moonweaver stepped off her transport first. She was tall and moved like a dancer. Her silver hair flowed behind her, and her green eyes seemed to see everything at once. She wore armor that looked like it was grown instead of built. Ambassador Zara Veltar came next. She was even taller than the elf, and her blue crystal skin caught the light from the ship's corridors. The crystal formations on her body glowed softly. When she walked, there was no sound at all. "Welcome aboard the Blackstar," Lisa said. "I hope we can work together." "Your ship is very solid," Aria said. "It feels strong but not alive. This is strange to us." "Our vessels live and breathe," Zara added. "But yours seems to have a different kind of power." "Very interesting." Lisa led them to the main conference room. Her senior officers were already waiting. Chief Engineer Kelly Brooks looked nervous but curious. Lieutenant Commander Nina Walsh kept her hand near her weapon but tried to look friendly. "We need to share our technology if we want to win," Lisa said. "What can each of us bring to this fight?" Aria spoke first. "Our bioships can change during battle. If the enemy shoots them, they learn and become resistant to that weapon. Our crews can speak mind to mind, so we coordinate perfectly." "That sounds very useful," Kelly said. "How fast can they adapt?" "Usually within minutes. But these Dominion weapons are unlike anything we have faced. They might be too strong for our ships to adapt to." Zara stepped forward. "My people create energy from the space between atoms. We can make shields that bend reality and weapons that exist in multiple dimensions. But we are not good at building machines like humans." Nina leaned forward. "Could you power our weapons with your energy?" "Perhaps. We have never tried to work with mechanical technology before. It might be possible." Lisa smiled. "Kelly, I want you to work with both of them. See what we can combine." Over the next 2 days, the three crews worked together in ways none of them had imagined. Kelly Brooks spent hours with an elven biotechnician named Lyra Starwhisper. Lyra was young for an elf but brilliant at understanding how living ships worked. "Your machines are so rigid," Lyra said as she looked at the Blackstar's weapon systems. "They cannot change or grow, but they are very precise." "Can you make them more flexible?" Kelly asked. "Maybe. What if we grew biocircuits that could connect to your computers? The living parts could adapt while the mechanical parts stay accurate." They started small. Lyra grew thin biocables that could connect to the ship's targeting system. The cables looked like green vines, but they carried information faster than any human computer. Meanwhile, Nina Walsh worked with a crystalline weapons specialist named Kira Shardhart. Kira was a warrior who had fought in many battles. Her crystals glowed bright red when she was excited. "Your weapons use explosions to damage enemies," Kira said. "This is effective but wasteful. We use pure energy." "Can you teach our weapons to use energy instead of explosives?" Nina asked. "Show me how they work and I will try." Kira placed her hands on a human plasma cannon. Her crystals began to glow, and suddenly the weapon started humming with new power. When they tested it, the energy beam was 3 times stronger than before. "Amazing," Nina said. "How did you do that?" "I channeled energy from subspace directly into your machine. It was easier than I thought because your technology is very well organized." On the 3rd day, they faced their first real test. Long-range sensors detected 3 Dominion scout ships approaching a nearby system with human colonists. "We should help them," Lisa said. "Agreed," Aria replied. "But this is a chance to test our new combined abilities." The 3 fleets moved toward the threatened system. The Dominion ships were black and angular, with red lights that pulsed like a heartbeat. They were attacking a small colony world with weapons that carved deep trenches in the planet's surface. "Attack formation," Lisa ordered. "Let us see what we can do together." The Blackstar moved in first. Her weapons were now powered by crystalline energy and guided by elven biocircuits. The first shots hit the lead Dominion ship and tore through its shields like they were made of paper. An elven bioship flowed around the second enemy vessel like water. Its living hull absorbed the enemy's energy weapons and converted them into power for its own guns. The Dominion ship found itself being drained of energy with every shot it fired. A crystalline vessel appeared behind the 3rd enemy ship without warning. It had bent space to teleport directly into position. Its weapons created holes in reality that swallowed pieces of the Dominion vessel. The battle was over in minutes. All 3 enemy ships were destroyed and the colony was saved. "Well, done," Lisa said over the communications. "Our combination worked better than I hoped." But when they examined the wreckage, they found something disturbing. The Dominion ships had been studying them. Each vessel contained detailed information about human, elven, and crystalline weapons and defenses. "They know how we fight," Arya said. "They have been watching us for a long time." "Which means they will be ready for our individual tactics," Zara added. "But they will not be ready for our combined abilities." Back aboard the Blackstar, the 3 commanders shared a meal together. It was the first time they had relaxed since meeting. "Your food is very plain," Arya said as she tried human rations. "But it has good energy." "Elf food tastes like flowers," Nina said. "But it makes me feel stronger." "Crystalline energy food has no taste at all," Kelly added. "But it fills you up completely." They laughed together and Lisa realized that despite their differences, they were becoming friends. Arya's calm wisdom balanced Lisa's quick decisions. Zara's proud strength supported both of them when they doubted themselves. "The enemy expects us to fight alone," Lisa said. "Every species they have defeated was isolated. But we are not alone anymore. The bionets of my people say that working together creates new possibilities," Arya said. 3 streams joining make a river stronger than anyone alone. "Our crystal songs speak of harmony between different frequencies," Zara added. "When they combine, they create music that none could make separately." As the 3 fleets continued toward the main battle, they shared more than just technology. Human engineers learned to think like living ships. Elven crews learned the value of precise mechanical systems. Crystalline warriors learned that emotions could make them stronger instead of weaker. But their scouts brought disturbing news. The main Dominion fleet was larger than anyone had expected. Over 300 ships were gathering at the edge of the Nexus system. Worst of all, they had brought planet killers. "Planet killers are ships the size of moons," Arya explained. "They can crack worlds apart with single shots." "How many do they have?" Lisa asked. "Our scouts counted 5. Lisa felt her stomach sink. 5 weapons that could destroy planets. How could any fleet fight against that? "We need a new plan," she said. "Everything we have might not be enough." "Then we make it enough," Zara said, firmly. "Our peoples are counting on us. We will not let them down." The 3 commanders looked at each other and nodded. They had become more than allies. They had become sisters, prepared to face impossible odds together. The real battle was waiting for them, and they would meet it as one. Captain Lisa Morgan stood on the bridge of the USS Blackstar and watched the stars through the main screen. Her ship was the newest and strongest vessel in the human fleet. The Blackstar had weapons that could destroy entire asteroids and armor, that could fix itself when damaged. Lisa had commanded this ship for 2 years and loved every moment of it. The bridge was quiet until the communication officer spoke up. "Captain, we are getting a distress signal from outside our space. It sounds urgent." Lisa walked to the communication station. "Put it through." The screen flickered and showed a woman with pointed ears and silver hair. Her green eyes looked worried and tired. She wore a uniform that seemed to be made from living plants. This was clearly an elf from the stories Lisa had heard about. "I am Commander Arya Moonweaver of the Sylvan Federation. Our worlds are under attack by the Void Dominion. They have ships that can crack planets in half. We need help, or we will all die." Lisa had heard about the Void Dominion. They were a group of aliens who traveled from system to system and destroyed everything they found. No one knew why they did this. They just came and killed and moved on to the next target. "How many ships do they have?" Lisa asked. "More than we can count. Our bioships are fast, but their weapons are too strong. We have lost 6 worlds already. Please, will you help us?" Before Lisa could answer, another signal came through. This time it showed a tall woman with blue skin that looked like crystal. Her body had crystal formations growing from her spine and shoulders. She looked proud and strong. "I am Ambassador Zara Veltar of the Crystalline Hegemony. I come seeking alliance with the humans. The Void Dominion threatens all our peoples. We must work together or fall separately." Lisa looked at both women on her screen. 3 different species, all facing the same enemy. The humans had fought many wars, but never anything like this. Both of you want our help against the Dominion, Lisa said. What can you offer in return? Commander Moonweaver spoke first. Our ships are alive. They can heal themselves and adapt to enemy weapons. Our people can speak with their minds and work together without radios. Ambassador Veltar stepped forward. My people control energy itself. We can create shields that bend light and weapons that tear holes in space. Our crystals store power beyond your understanding. Lisa thought about this. The human fleet was strong, but they had never faced planet-killing weapons before. Working with aliens would be strange, but these enemies sounded too dangerous to fight alone. I will speak with my government, but I think we can help. Where should we meet? The Nexus system, both women said at the same time. They looked at each other in surprise. Commander Moonweaver explained. The Nexus system has jump points that connect to all our territories. If the Dominion takes it, they can attack all our homeworlds at once. How long do we have? Lisa asked. Ambassador Veltar's crystals glowed brighter. Our scouts report a massive fleet gathering at the edge of Dominion space. They will reach the Nexus system in 10 days. Lisa made her decision quickly. I will bring the Blackstar and every ship we can spare. We meet at Nexus in 5 days. The communications ended and Lisa turned to her crew. You heard them. We are going to war with aliens we just met to fight aliens we have never seen. Get the ship ready for full combat operations. Her second-in-command, Lieutenant Commander Nina Walsh, stepped forward. Captain, do you think we can trust them? I do not know, but the enemy of my enemy might be my friend. Besides, if these Dominion forces are as strong as they say, we will need all the help we can get. Lisa ordered the Blackstar to full speed toward the Nexus system. She sent messages to Earth asking for every available warship to join them. The response came back quickly. The human government was sending 50 ships, including some of their newest designs. As the Blackstar traveled through hyperspace, Lisa studied everything they knew about their new allies. The elves had been traveling space for thousands of years, but they focused on growing their technology instead of building it. Their ships were actually living creatures bred for war. The crystalline people were newer to space travel, but their technology was impressive. They could create energy from nothing and shape it into tools or weapons. Their ships looked like flying jewels, but they were stronger than human steel. The Void Dominion was different. No one knew where they came from or what they wanted. They appeared about 50 years ago and started destroying civilizations. They had technology that seemed impossible and leaders that felt no mercy. 3 days into the journey, Lisa received another message. This time it was from a human colony near Dominion space. Captain Morgan, this is Colony 7. The Dominion just attacked our neighbors. The entire planet is gone. Not destroyed, gone. There is nothing left where it used to be. They have weapons that can erase matter itself. Lisa felt cold fear in her stomach. Weapons that could make planets disappear were beyond anything she had imagined. How could they fight enemies with that kind of power? She called her senior officers to a meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, we are heading into the biggest fight humanity has ever faced. These enemies can destroy planets. Our new allies have strange technology we do not understand. Everything about this mission is unknown. Chief Engineer Kelly Brooks raised her hand. Captain, what if we cannot trust these aliens? What if this is a trap? Then we die fighting instead of die hiding. But I think they need us as much as we need them. No one species can beat the Dominion alone. The Blackstar dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the Nexus system. Waiting for them were the most beautiful and strange ships Lisa had ever seen. The elven vessels looked like huge flowers or trees floating in space. They moved with grace and seemed to pulse with life. The crystalline ships were the opposite. They looked like carved gems the size of buildings. Light flowed through them in patterns that hurt to look at directly. They moved with perfect precision. Lisa opened communications with both fleets. This is Captain Morgan of the USS Blackstar. We are ready to work together. The 3 fleets moved closer to each other, and Lisa realized that everything was about to change. Humanity was no longer alone in the universe, and their first meeting with other intelligent life was going to be a war that would decide the fate of 3 civilizations. The combined fleet arrived at the Nexus system to find a sight that made everyone's blood run cold. Hundreds of black ships filled the space around the system's edge. They moved in perfect formation, like a swarm of deadly insects. At the center of the fleet were 5 massive vessels that dwarfed everything else. "By the great trees," Commander Arya Moonweaver whispered. "Those planet killers are bigger than our largest bio-cities." Captain Lisa Morgan stared at the enemy formation through the main screen. Each planet killer was the size of a small moon, with weapons that glowed red like dying stars. Smaller ships surrounded them in protective patterns. "How are we supposed to fight that?" Lieutenant Commander Nina Walsh asked quietly. Ambassador Zara Veltar's crystals glowed with determination. "We fight together or we die separately. There is no other choice." Lisa called for a meeting of all senior officers from the 3 fleets. They gathered in the Blackstar's largest conference room. Humans sat next to elves and crystalline officers. A month ago, this meeting would have been impossible. Now it might be their only hope. "Our scouts report that the Dominion fleet has over 300 ships," Lisa began. "Their leader is Admiral Vex Noth. Intelligence says he has conquered 17 star systems." An elven officer named Mira Dawnlight spoke up. "Our bio-networks detected his ship. It is protected by fields that bend reality itself. Nothing we have ever seen can penetrate those defenses." "The planet killers are the real threat," added a crystalline engineer named Vera Brightstone. "Each one can destroy a world with a single shot. If they reach our home systems, billions will die." Lisa looked around the room at faces both human and alien. Fear was in everyone's eyes, but so was determination. "We cannot match their numbers," she said. "But we have something they do not expect. We have learned to work together. They will expect us to fight like separate species." "What do you propose?" Arya asked. "We divide our forces into 3 groups. The elven bioships will use their stealth abilities to get close to the planet killers. The crystalline fleet will create massive energy distortions to hide their approach. The human fleet will attack head-on to draw their attention." Zara's crystals pulsed with concern. "That puts your ships in the most danger. They will focus all their firepower on you. Someone has to be the target. Human ships are built to take damage. We can handle it." The room was quiet for a moment. Then Chief Engineer Kelly Brooks stood up. "There is something else we can try. We have been combining our technologies in small ways. What if we tried something bigger?" "What do you mean?" Lisa asked. "What if we modified the Blackstar itself, combined all 3 technologies into one ship, made it into something the enemy has never seen before?" Lyra Star Whisper's eyes lit up. "A biomechanical hybrid powered by crystal energy. It would be like nothing that has ever existed." "Is it possible?" Arya asked. "We would need time," Vera said. "And we would need to work faster than we ever have before." Lisa made the decision quickly. "Do it. You have 6 hours before the enemy fleet reaches attack position. Make the Blackstar into whatever she needs to be." The next 6 hours were chaos. Engineers from all 3 species worked side by side in the Blackstar's engine rooms and weapon bays. Lyra grew bio-neural networks that connected to the ship's computers. Vera channeled energy streams through the hull itself. Kelly coordinated everything while human, elf, and crystalline workers transformed the ship. Meanwhile, other preparations continued. Human pilot Sarah Kim led fighter squadrons in practice formations with elven biofighters and crystalline energy ships. The different flying styles were difficult to coordinate, but they were learning. "Human fighters are fast and aggressive," Sarah reported. "Elven biofighters move like living things. Crystal ships can appear and disappear instantly. If we combine these abilities, we might confuse the enemy." On the medical decks, healers from all 3 species worked together. Mira Dawnlight used elven healing magic alongside human medical technology. She learned that human determination could help healing as much as any medicine. "Your people are very strong inside," she told Lisa. "When they decide to live, they fight harder than any creature I have known." "Your people understand life itself," Lisa replied. "You make our doctors better at saving lives." As the modifications to the Blackstar continued, the 3 commanders found themselves working closer together than ever. They shared not just plans, but hopes and fears. My people have lived among the stars for thousands of years, Arya said. But we have always been peaceful. This war frightens us. My people are warriors by nature, Zara added. But we have never faced an enemy like this. They seem to have no purpose except destruction. Humans are new to space, Lisa said. But we have always fought to protect what we love. That has not changed. They were interrupted by alarms. Long-range sensors showed the Dominion fleet beginning to move. They are coming, Nina reported. All ships are forming attack patterns. Lisa looked at her new allies and friends. In just a few days, they had changed from strangers to sisters. Now they would face the ultimate test together. How are the modifications going? She asked Kelly. Almost done. The Blackstar is becoming something new. Her hull is now part living tissue that can repair itself. Her weapons channel pure energy from subspace. Her computers think with bio-neural networks that adapt to any situation. Is she still human technology? She is human and elven and crystalline all at once. She is what we can become when we work together. The enemy fleet was now moving at full speed toward the Nexus system. Admiral Vexnoth's flagship led the formation. It was a black monster covered in weapons and surrounded by reality distortion fields. Final positions, Lisa ordered. All fleets prepare for battle. The elven bioships began to fade from sensors, as their living hulls adapted to become nearly invisible. The crystalline vessels started charging their energy projection systems. The human fleet formed up behind the newly modified Blackstar. Remember, Lisa said over the communications to all ships, we are not three separate species today. We are one people fighting for our homes, for our families, for our future. The enemy fleet came closer and closer. Weapons began to glow on both sides. In moments, the battle for the Nexus system would begin. Lisa looked at Arya and Zara on her bridge. The elf's green eyes were calm but determined. The crystalline woman's blue skin glowed with inner fire. Together they represented something new in the galaxy. Whatever happens, Lisa said, we face it together. Together, Arya and Zara said at the same time. The Dominion fleet was now in weapons range. Admiral Vexnoth's ship began to glow with terrible energy. The planet killers started charging their world-ending weapons. The battle for three civilizations was about to begin. The first shots of the battle lit up space like miniature stars. The USS Blackstar led the human fleet in a direct charge toward the center of the Dominion formation. Her new hybrid weapons carved through enemy shields with power that surprised. Even Captain Lisa Morgan, all weapons fire, Lisa commanded. The Blackstar's guns spoke with voices of thunder and lightning. Energy beams powered by crystalline technology and guided by elven biocircuits found their targets with perfect accuracy. Around them, the human fleet followed their flagship into the heart of the enemy. Ships like the USS Denver and the USS Phoenix fired everything they had. Their weapons had been upgraded with alien technology and hit much harder than before. But the Dominion fleet was ready for them. Admiral Vexnoth's flagship began firing reality-warping weapons that bent space itself. Human ships that got too close simply vanished, erased from existence. Fall back, Lisa ordered the other human ships. Stay out of range of those reality weapons. Let the Blackstar handle the close fighting. The modified Blackstar could survive the reality attacks because her bio-living hull adapted to each strike. When space tried to erase her, she changed her molecular structure to stay real. When energy tried to destroy her, she absorbed it and used it to power her own weapons. Meanwhile, Commander Arya Moonweaver led her elven bioships through the asteroid fields around the Nexus system. The living vessels moved like schools of fish, changing direction all at once through their telepathic links. Strike the planet killers, Arya commanded through the bionet. They are the greatest threat. The elven ships appeared from behind asteroids like ghosts. Their bioweapons fired living projectiles that burrowed into enemy hulls and began eating the ships from inside. One planet killer's main gun exploded when bioparasites reached its power core. But the enemy adapted quickly. Dominion fighters swarmed the elven ships like angry wasps. Their weapons fired energy that burned through biotissue faster than it could heal. We are taking heavy losses, reported Lyra Starwhisper from her bioship. The enemy has learned to counter our healing. Abilities! Hold position, Arya ordered. Help is coming! Ambassador Zara Veltar led the crystalline fleet in an attack that defied physics. Her ships existed in multiple dimensions at once, appearing and disappearing like mirages. They struck without warning and vanished before the enemy could return. "Fire! Target their command ships," Zara broadcast to her fleet. "Destroy their coordination, and they will become confused." Crystalline energy weapons tore holes in reality itself. Dominion vessels found themselves pulled into dimensional rifts, or frozen in time bubbles. The precise mathematical attacks of the crystalline forces created chaos in the enemy formations. But Admiral Vexnoth was not finished. His flagship began broadcasting a signal that made all the Dominion ships work together like a single organism. The reality-warping field spread from ship to ship until the entire enemy fleet was protected. "Their shields are adapting to everything we throw at them," Nina Walsh reported from the Blackstar's tactical station. "Then we adapt faster," Lisa replied. She opened communications to all Allied ships. "All fleets, coordinate your attacks. Hit them with everything at once." What happened next had never been seen in galactic history. Human ships provided covering fire while elven biovessels flowed around enemy formations like living rivers. Crystalline ships appeared in impossible places and struck with mathematical precision. The three fighting styles merged into something beautiful and deadly. Human pilot Sarah Kim led a mixed squadron of fighters in an attack on a planet killer's weapons array. Her human fighter flew alongside an elven biocraft that looked like a flying flower and a crystalline ship that sparkled like a diamond. "Stay close," Sarah broadcast. Human ships take the hits, elven ships adapt to their weapons, crystal ships hit their weak spots. The combined squadron moved like a dance. When Dominion fighters attacked, the human ships absorbed the damage with their heavy armor. The elven biofighters learned from each attack and became resistant to the enemy weapons. The crystalline fighters struck back with energy beams that appeared from unexpected angles. Together, they destroyed the planet killer's main gun in a spectacular explosion. But there were still 4 more planet killers and hundreds of enemy ships. On the medical decks of all 3 fleets, healers worked together to save lives. Mira Dawnlight used elven life magic to heal human wounds, while human doctors shared their knowledge of trauma surgery. Crystalline healers channeled pure life energy into damaged bodies. "We are learning so much from each other," Mira told Lisa during a brief communication. "Human courage helps healing work better. Crystalline energy makes our life magic stronger. Together we can save lives that any one of us would lose." But the battle was turning against them. The Dominion fleet had more ships and their reality warping. Weapons were destroying Allied vessels faster than they could be replaced. "We need something new," Chief Engineer Kelly Brooks reported from deep in the Blackstar's engine room. "The enemy is learning to counter our combined attacks." "What do you suggest?" Lisa asked. "The 3 technologies we combined in the Blackstar. What if we could combine them in ways we never imagined? What if we could make the ship into something that exists partially outside normal space?" Lyra Starwhisper's voice came over the communications from her bioship. "The living hull could channel crystalline energy through dimensions we cannot normally reach," Vera Brightstone added from her crystal vessel. "Our energy manipulation could power bio-neural networks that think faster than any computer." "Do it," Lisa ordered. "Combine everything. Make the Blackstar into something the universe has never seen." Working together across 3 ships while under fire, the engineers began the most ambitious modification ever attempted. Bio-neural networks grew through the Blackstar's hull and connected to crystalline energy cores. Human mechanical systems provided the framework for technologies that barely existed in normal reality. The Blackstar began to change. Her hull pulsed with living energy. Her weapons drew power from multiple dimensions. Her computers thought with the speed of pure thought itself. "I can feel the ship thinking," Lisa said in wonder. "She is alive and mechanical and something else, all at once." The modified Blackstar turned toward Admiral Vexnoth's flagship. The enemy commander had noticed the strange energy readings coming from the human vessel. "Impossible," Vexnoth broadcast on all frequencies. "No ship can exist in that many dimensions simultaneously. Watch us," Lisa replied. The final phase of the battle was about to begin. The Blackstar, now more than just a ship, moved toward the heart of the enemy fleet. Around her, human and elven and crystalline vessels followed their transformed flagship. Though Galaxy had never seen anything like what the three species had created together. Now it was time to find out if their combined strength was enough to defeat an enemy that had conquered 17 star systems. Admiral Vexnoth prepared his most powerful weapons. The reality-warping fields around his ship grew stronger. The remaining planet killers turned their world-killing guns toward the approaching Allied fleet. Everything would be decided in the next few minutes. The USS Blackstar had become something beyond imagination. Her hull breathed with living metal that pulsed like a heartbeat. Her weapons channeled energy from places that existed between reality and dream. Her crew worked with minds connected, across three species, thinking as one organism with many parts. Captain Lisa Morgan felt the ship respond to her thoughts before she could speak them. Commander Aria Moonweaver and Ambassador Zara Veltar stood beside her on the bridge. Their minds linked through bio-neural networks that made them move like dancers who had practiced together for years. "The enemy flagship is directly ahead," Nina Walsh reported. Her voice sounded strange because she was speaking through the ship's living communication system. Admiral Vexnoth's vessel was a nightmare of black metal and pulsing red lights. Reality bent around it like heat waves, making it hard to look at directly. The ship was protected by fields that could erase anything that came too close. "All Allied ships, begin final attack," Lisa commanded. Her words reached every vessel. Instantly, through the combined communication networks of three species, the elven bioships flowed toward the planet killers like rivers of liquid starlight. Their living hulls had adapted to resist the reality-warping weapons. When the enemy tried to erase them from existence, they simply changed what kind of existence they had. Commander Moonweaver's voice came through the bionet with calm confidence. "The planet killers are losing power. Our bioparasites have reached their core systems. 3 of them are no longer able to fire." The crystalline fleet struck like lightning made of pure mathematics. Ambassador Veltar's ships created energy, patterns that confused the Dominion targeting systems. Their attacks came from angles that should not have existed, hitting enemies through dimensional shortcuts. "Enemy formation is breaking apart," Zara reported. "Their reality fields cannot adapt to attacks from multiple dimensions at once." But Admiral Vexnoth was not finished. His flagship began to glow with terrible energy as he prepared his most powerful weapon. The reality distortion field around his ship grew stronger until space itself began to crack. "He is going to tear a hole in reality," Chief Engineer Kelly Brooks warned from the engine room. "If he succeeds, the explosion will destroy this entire system." "Then we stop him," Lisa said simply. The Blackstar accelerated toward the enemy flagship. Her hybrid engines pushed her faster than any ship had ever traveled. The reality fields that protected Vexnoth's vessel tried to stop her, but the Blackstar existed in too many dimensions to be easily blocked. "Impossible," Admiral Vexnoth broadcast. "No technology can penetrate my defenses." "We are not just technology," Aria replied through the communication link. "We are life itself, working together." "We are energy and matter in perfect harmony," Zara added, "something you could never understand." "We are 3 peoples who chose to become one," Lisa finished, "and that makes us stronger than any weapon." "You have." The Blackstar broke through the reality field around the enemy flagship like a sword cutting through shadow. Her biomechanical hull absorbed the defensive energy and converted it into power for her own weapons. At the same moment, the 3 commanders worked together in perfect coordination. Lisa provided tactical brilliance that found the exact weak point in the enemy ship. Aria contributed intuitive understanding of how energy flowed through living systems. Zara offered mathematical precision that calculated the exact force needed to overload the enemy's core. Their combined attack struck Admiral Vexnoth's ship at the precise moment when its reality-warping core was most vulnerable. The explosion that followed was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Energy cascaded through multiple dimensions as the enemy flagship tore itself apart. The reality distortions that had protected the Dominion fleet collapsed like a house of cards. Ship after ship found itself suddenly defenseless against Allied attacks. "The enemy is retreating," reported Sarah Kim from her fighter squadron. "Their formation is completely broken." Across the battlefield, Dominion vessels that had seemed invincible moments before were now fleeing in panic. Without their flagship, to coordinate them, they fought each other as much as they fought the Allies. The remaining planet killers tried to escape, but elven bioships had grown through their hulls like infection. The massive weapons exploded one by one as their own power cores were turned against them. In less than an hour, the largest Dominion fleet ever assembled was destroyed or scattered. The three allied species had achieved the impossible. But victory came with a price. Many ships from all three fleets had been lost. Brave crews who had learned to work together in their final moments would never see their homes again. Lisa stood in the Blackstar's observation deck with Arya and Zara. Through the transparent metal, they could see the wreckage of the battle, floating in space. Mixed among the black debris of Dominion ships were the broken hulls of human vessels, withered elven bioships, and shattered crystalline craft. "We won," Arya said quietly. "But so many died to make it happen." "They died so that billions of others could live," Zara replied. "That is the price of protecting what we love." "Will it be worth it?" Lisa asked. "Can we really build something better together?" Her answer came from the crews working around them. Human engineers were learning to grow biocircuits with elven partners. Crystalline healers were sharing energy techniques with human doctors. Elven artists were teaching humans how to sing with their minds while learning human poetry. "Look at them," Arya said with a smile. "A month ago, we did not know each other existed. Now we work together like we were always meant to be one people." Over the following days, representatives from all three governments arrived at the Nexus system. They came to sign the most important treaty in galactic history. The signing ceremony took place aboard the USS Blackstar. The ship had become a symbol of what could be achieved when different peoples chose cooperation over conflict. Lisa, Arya, and Zara stood together as their leaders signed the Nexus Accords. The treaty established the first multi-species military command and opened borders for trade and cultural exchange between their civilizations. "This is just the beginning," Lisa said to her friends. "We have shown that we can fight together. Now we must learn to live together." "There will be challenges," Arya admitted. "Our peoples are very different. Some will not understand why we choose to work with aliens." "Then we teach them," Zara said firmly. "We show them that diversity makes us stronger, not weaker." The ceremony ended with the announcement that the USS Blackstar would become the flagship of the new combined fleet. Her crew would include members from all three species, working together to protect their shared territory. As the representatives returned to their homeworlds, Lisa remained on the bridge of her transformed ship. The Blackstar was no longer purely human technology. She was something new, just like the alliance that had created her. Arya and Zara had chosen to stay as permanent crew members. Their expertise would be needed as more species joined the alliance. The galaxy was full of civilizations that might benefit from cooperation instead of isolation. "What happens now?" Nina Walsh asked. She had been promoted to second-in-command of the combined crew. "Now we explore," Lisa replied. "We find other peoples who need help or want to join us. We show the galaxy that working together is better than fighting alone." "And if we meet more enemies like the Dominion?" asked Kelly Brooks. "Then we face them together," Arya answered. "Three species working as one proved stronger than an empire that conquered 17 systems. Next time, we might be 4 species or 5 or 10, Zara added. "Each new friend makes us all more powerful." The USS Blackstar set course for the outer rim of known space. Her mission was to explore, to protect, and to find new allies among the stars. Her crew represented the first generation of truly galactic citizens. Behind them, construction ships were already building a new space station at the Nexus system. It would serve as a meeting place for all the species that chose cooperation over conquest. The station would be built with technology from many worlds, a symbol of unity and diversity. As the Blackstar traveled toward unknown space, her crew worked, together with the natural ease of people who had learned to trust each other completely. Human precision combined with elven intuition and crystalline logic to solve problems none could handle alone. Lisa looked out at the stars and smiled. The galaxy was vast and full of wonders they had not yet discovered. Some of those wonders might be friends waiting to join their alliance. Others might be enemies who needed to learn that the age of conquest was ending. Either way, they would face the future together. 3 species had become one people, and that was just the beginning of something greater than any of them could imagine alone.